Welcome to this higher tier GCSE lesson on quadratic expansion. Firstly, we are going to recap factorising. So this is your do now task. Fully factorise the two expressions on the screen. Write down the original expression and your answer. Pause the video while you do this. Right, the first answer, we have wy brackets w plus y. The second answer, we have 4p and then in brackets 2a plus 3c take away p. So today we are looking at quadratic expansion, and we're going to have a look at expanding two binomials to obtain that quadratic expansion. We'll look at those definitions on the next slide. So a quadratic expansion is one where the highest power of the variables is 2. So you can see three examples written down: y squared, 3t squared plus 5t, 5m squared plus 3m plus 8. All of those have the highest power as a 2. You can expand expressions, such as this one given here, to give you a quadratic. We'll look at those methods shortly. Now, each of those brackets are called binomials, and a binomial is the sum of two terms. So multiplying out these brackets is what gives us a quadratic expression. And the rule for this is similar to the rule for expanding single brackets. Everything in the first bracket needs to be multiplied by everything in the second bracket. There are several methods, and we're going to look at 3 of those. The first method is the expansion method. So for every question we look at in this section, you need to use the expansion method. So copy this example down. So first of all, we want to expand x plus 3, x plus 4. Well, the expansion method is looking at that first bracket and writing each term as a multiple of the second bracket. So as you can see, we have x brackets x plus 4, and we're adding that to 3 brackets x plus 4. Then expanding each single bracket in exactly the same way that we did before, we end up with x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12. And when we simplify, we get x squared plus 7x plus 12. So use this method for the questions on the following slide. So write the question, show your working, and write your answer. Pause the video while you work through these questions. Okay, here are the answers. Mark your work. Pause the video while you do this. Okay, the next method is called the FOIL method. So the F stands for first, O outer, I inner, and L last. This is the order of multiplying the terms from each set of brackets. In reality, the order doesn't matter, but it's good to have this order as it keeps our answer in a similar format to what we expect. So copy down this example with the method. So expand t plus 5, t take away 2. Now, we're going to draw this out. We're going to draw arrows between them and label them with the F, O, I and L. So the first terms, you can see the F joins up the T and the T, so that gives us t squared. The outer terms, that is t multiplied by negative 2, that gives us negative 2t. The inner terms give us 5 multiplied by t to give us 5t. And the last terms give us 5 multiplied by negative 2 to give us negative 10. And we can write all of these terms together: t squared take away 2t plus 5t take away 10. And this simplifies to t squared plus 3t take away 10. Now, as you get more confident with this method, you do not need to write out every calculation as you go along. But to show your working, you should draw the arrows between the terms that you are calculating. Have a look at these questions, write the question, show the working as well as the answer. This time use the FOIL method. Pause the video while you work through them. Here are some more questions, slightly different. Again, pause the video while you work through these. Okay, here are the answers for the FOIL method. Mark your work, pause the video while you do this. Okay, the final method we are going to look at today is called the box method or the grid method. This is where we draw out a box or a grid. One bracket goes along the top, the other bracket goes down the side. Now, which way round you do this, it doesn't matter. The first bracket in this instance is written along the top. You have a k and we've got a subtract 3 from the bracket. So we write it as a -3. The second bracket we've written down the side. We've got a k and we've got to take away 2. So we'll write that as a -2. We then multiply in the grid. So k times k gives us k squared. We'll have -3k, we'll have a -2k, and we'll have a +6. We write all of these terms together and simplify to get k squared, take away 5k, +6. Be careful with the negative signs, because mistakes can easily be made if you are not aware of those. Make sure you've got this example copied down before you move on. Okay, use the box method for these questions. Pause the video while you do them. Here is some more to have a look at. Pause the video again while you do these. Okay, here are the answers. Make sure you've used the box method. Mark your work. Pause the video. Okay, have a look at this problem-solving question. Again, using the grid method. That is the suggested one due to the nature of the question and the diagram that you have got there. Copy and complete the table for your working. Pause the video while you do this. Okay, here are the answers to the question 4. Mark your work. Again, pause the video if needed. Okay, finally, we're going to look at some questions that are going to involve a bit of problem solving. Now, you can use whichever method you like for your expansion here. So whichever you preferred, pick that and stick with it. Or have a bit of variety and change it. It's entirely up to you which method you want to use. So here we're going to expand x plus 3, x plus 5. Whichever method you want, you will get the same answer of x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now here comes the problem solving part. We want to use that answer. It says in part B, use your answer to A to find the value of 3.2 multiplied by 5.2. Well, if we relate that to the bracket, we can see that x would be 0.2. So we're going to substitute 0.2 into that quadratic expression. So we will have 0.2 squared plus 8 times 0.2 plus 15. Now this can be calculated in your head. You don't need to use a written method or a calculator. So we'll have 0.04 plus 1.6 plus 15. And that gets us 16.64. And that is the answer to 3.2 times by 5.2 using that expansion. So have a go at these questions. Use whichever method you want to expand the brackets. And in part B, you can make sure you do not use a calculator or long division. Use your answer to part A. Pause the video while you have a go at these. Okay, here are the answers. Mark your work. That is the end of this lesson. We'll be continuing with quadratic expansion next lesson. Thank you and goodbye.